This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 859 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today we have two shorty tips. First up, Hillary Moore Hebert, senior editor of Dressage Today magazine and dressagetoday.com, joins the Dressage Radio Show crew with some great advice for anxious riders. And then my tip for the day on trot sets. And we'll get right to our riding and training tips after this shopping tip from Equestrian Collections.
Hi, Glenn here with the Horse Radio Network, and I am here with Debbie from Equestrian Collections with her product of the week and a new product line that I absolutely love their products. I've tried several of them, Debbie, and I know the one you're going to talk about. I love Noble Equine stuff.
Yeah, this is a new vendor for us, and we are so happy to add them to the Equestrian Collections line. The featured product this week is the Noble Equine Just for Kicks boot bag, and it's the short. It's the boot bag short. And the reason I'm featuring this is because this is the first time that we have had on our site a boot bag specifically designed for Western boots. You don't have to get the tall boot bag to carry your Western boots around. And it's also designed for paddock boots. Inside this, if you're English and you need a place to carry your paddock boots, it's also got pockets on the inside for your half chaps. So you can carry your paddock boots and half chaps all in one container. And if you're a Western rider, this boot bag is specifically designed for Western boots as well. So this is something we haven't had before, and we're now trying to, as you know, introduce some more Western lines. And this particular line is excellent, has great feedback. Everything is good about it. We have had just lots of good things to be said about Noble Equine. And this boot bag is kind of unique for us, so I wanted everybody to know and take a look at the Noble Equine Just for Kicks boot bag.
And I can say that their products are tough. I mean, I tested their backpack, which we'll talk about next month, and it just works. And they're tough. You can beat them up a little bit. It's just good stuff for horse people, Noble Equine. And you can search for all the Noble Equine products by going to equestriancollections.com and just searching Noble Equine.
Okay, so then on the other side, I think that this is a nice transition into this. Our transitions column that we have, we had a submission from Amy Tolnish, and I think it's a great piece of advice because I think we get into sort of the serious training and thinking about how this is a sport and amateurs compete against professionals, and so everyone gets really intense. And she had a great piece of advice for anxious riders, not just people who are nervous, but also I think people who have uncertainty. And she says, give yourself a break, and that for the majority of this sport, most people do this as a hobby, not a job. And we have to remember that hobbies are fun. And she makes a really good point. She says that, say you're afraid of cantering, does being able to canter really make you a better person or a better rider? And her answer is absolutely not. And I think that that's really worthwhile to think about because I think we can get very focused on goal setting, which I think in its place is good to do, but you can kind of get so intense in type A that you forget about the fact that what you're doing is having fun and making sure that where you're setting your goals has to go in that direction. It doesn't necessarily have to be constantly about, progressing and winning and achieving all the time.
Excellent advice, Hillary. And now an exercise that can help you and your horse, both physically and mentally. Trot sets. What is a trot set, you ask? Well, for the purposes of this tip, it is trotting at a very forward pace for an extended period, say 3 to 5 minutes, followed by walking for a similar period and then repeating the process over and over again, up to 5 or 6 times in a given ride, preferably in the open versus in an arena setting. Ride with a shorter stirrup so that you can stay off of your horse's back and encourage the horse to lengthen his stride and top line, therefore covering a lot of ground without actually working very hard. Trot sets are wonderful for horses whose shoulders need loosening up, and it is a great fitness building exercise for horses as well as riders. I find that many seemingly lazy or apathetic horses will feel sharper when trot sets are incorporated into their training regime. And that takes care of our tips for today. You can find lots more tips on topics ranging from barn care to websites for horse people at horsetipdaily.com. Just look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. And you can have all of the Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go now with our new free app for iPhone and Android. Just go to your app store and search for Horse Radio Network. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they really do make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of EquestrianCollections.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.